Alright, welcome to the second part of my first Sil Screencast. Before we get started, I want to apologize for being a moron. I went back and looked a little bit at the beginning of the last video, and I was getting all excited about this 3d6 battle axe. But I should just learn to read, because when I picked it up, I'm going to take it off right now. If I take it off, you'll see that it's actually just 3d4. If you have no shield, and you wield what I guess we could call like a hand and a half weapon. So a weapon that you can use with one hand or two hands depending on your choice. If you wield it in both hands, you get a damage bonus. So it's a 3d6 axe now. And while we're here, I'm just going to quickly explain how strength works, because there are a couple of things that it's important for later, but really it only does one thing that's important. And that is it gives you a damage bonus on your attacks. So if you're wielding a weapon in one hand, if a weapon is like X pounds, and you have X strength, you'll get an extra X sides to damage. So as an example, this battle axe, if I'm wielding in one hand, it's 6 pounds, let's just round, because that's all that, it only matters on integers. So if I have a 6-pound battle axe, and I'm wielding in one hand, and I have 6 strength, I'll get an extra 6 damage sides. Now, like, almost nobody has 6 strength. So realistically, with our character, we have 2 strength. If we wield it in one hand, we get 2 of the 6 extra damage sides as a bonus to damage. If you're wielding something in both hands, I think it's like you need, it's like 1.5 pounds instead of a pound for every point of strength. So if you have a 3-pound battle axe and 2 strength, you get both damage sides. So you can read that in the manual, but basically more strength equals more damage sides. And if your weapon is too light, you get no bonus. If your strength goes negative, which is possible with like the Edain, or if you get strength drained, or the Sindar, I think, the Borean Elves, they start with a -1 strength. If you have a weapon that's 1 pound and you have -1 strength, you'll actually lose a damage side. So like a 2d5 longsword will go to 2d4. So weight works in both directions, and it's just multiplication. So there's our math for the day. I'm going to try and go less into numbers and more into actual playing at this stage in the game. So again, I like to take a little gander around where the dungeon stretches off to. It stretches off to the right here, so I'm going to explore the left first. And this is already looking like a fun room. So more studded leather. These sleeping wolves don't know I'm here. If you hit something when it's sleeping, you get a massive bonus to hit, or they get a terrible penalty to evasion is closer, but they always wake up because they're pretty clever. So I'm going to start swatting these things. Wolves aren't the smartest. They'll just stand there and pound on you until they die. They don't really have any pack tactics. Whatever, they're pretty much the same armors. Alright, let's get moving. So on this floor, we're going to start seeing some more interesting monsters. Like these little bats. We should have seen these before. These are often on the first floor, but they're really hard to hit. My melee score is fairly reasonable for this depth, even though I'm using an axe. Okay, so now we're getting into a situation where I might die. I'm going to close the door here so they can't see me. Those orange orcs you saw are archers. Now, I said before, when you get shot, it's really hard to dodge. So there's 2 ways to deal with orc archers. One is to just have a lot of armor, so that even if they shoot you, it doesn't hurt. 2 is to have a lot of evasion, so they don't hit you, but that's almost impossible. So really the only other option is to be stealthy enough so they don't hear you at all, and then you can sneak up on them and stab them in the face. Right now I have none of those options, so this is just going to be a desperation move. I have sprinting, which is good because I'll be able to catch up to them and corner them, but they're going to be shooting me a lot. So at this stage, it might be good to wear these gauntlets because that'll give me a bit more protection. And I don't really have anything else that can help me here other than some like mystery potions that I don't want to drink right now. So let's... Oh! All that angst and they walked away. Oh, but somebody heard me. See, there's probably an orc archer in this dark patch in front of me, and when they shoot at you from the dark, it's terrible. They just critical you like no tomorrow. So I'm going to duck down into this corridor and wait for them to come out. I'm passing turns right now. But they are timid. So I have my own bow. See, he's shooting from out here, little coward. I'm going to shoot in. Strangely enough, orc archers are like really bad archers. An elf with like no training is better than an orc archer. So this is pretty much your worst situation possible for shooting into the dark. But they're so dumb that it works. And the only reason I'm doing this right now is because I have a major surplus of arrows. Arrows break with like a 20% chance when you shoot them. And I have so many right now, it doesn't matter. You know what, I'm just going to charge down here and smack this guy. There you go. Okay, so the good thing about orc archers is if you shut the door on them, they're too scared to come kill you. So if you just take a nap, which I just did, you can heal up. Now, I have an orc soldier coming up from behind me, and I have archers in front of me. This is really common in Sil, and the difference between Sil and most Angband style roguelikes that I've played is there's no such thing as like a perfect escape in skill. There's not even an escape. So in Angband you have all these things like teleportation scrolls and like teleport level scrolls, so if you get surrounded, you just get the hell out. In Sil you just die. So you really have to use tactics to figure out what the best way of not getting surrounded is. And right now, in this kind of situation, the archers, if I charge them, they'll run. Whereas the soldier, if I charge him, he'll stand and fight. And then the archers will just shoot me. So I'm going to charge the archers, even though they're going to hurt me a lot when I open this door. And they're probably going to scream in a second, which is going to alert the orcs behind me. So I want to really kill these guys quick. So the reason why I moved down is because I'm trying to herd them into the top right corner. Because I don't want them to run away. So this orc is dead. Aw, I missed. Spoke too soon. Okay. Now he's dead. What did he drop? This is the thing about these games too, like I can be in the middle of a harrowing fight and about to die and I'm like, ooh, shiny. But none of those things are super useful. So now these guys are all headed back the same way, which is ideal. I want them all on one side of me. And I'm probably going to kill you in just a few seconds. So somehow the other orc soldiers... How is he fighting back so well? I don't think I've ever had an orc archer hit me with his hands, like, ever. And this one just hit me 3 times in a row. Cool. Threat averted. So I'm going to remove these gauntlets again, because that -1 to hit really bothers me. So these greaves, they give me good protection, but it's not that much more, and they reduce my evasion. So I'm going to pick them up and carry them around, but I'm not going to use them just yet. The reason why I want a relatively high evasion at this stage is because low evasion opens you up to criticals. And that's a really quick way to die because you don't have much HP at all in this game ever. Like, you never have enough. So, oh. What? I'm on 200. Okay. Yeah, that's about the right depth. So this pack of orcs and this little green guy here, he's a unique orc. Uniques in this game, most of them aren't really that dangerous, but the thing that's hard about them is that they're surrounded by cronies. And right now, my protection is decent, 3 to 9. I can probably squeeze this through. So the first thing you may have seen is that my experience went up a lot just by looking at this guy. So I think you get like 100 to 200 experience for every unique that you see. Yeah, so when I saw him, I got 100 experience. Usually, they hit kind of hard, but you can, especially with charge, I could kill him really easily if I was head-to-head. But if I get swarmed, I'm going to die. So the first thing I'm going to do is look for where the stairs are, which is pretty far. Oh no, there's one right there. Okay, so the only reason I'm going to try and fight this guy right now is because I know I have a potential escape. Now, if things go bad and I run away, it's entirely possible that a pack of orcs is going to appear up here too, and I'll die. But that's Sil. So this is kind of like your risk-reward ratio. The smart person would run away right now and not fight, because there are like infinity orcs here. But I don't have much invested in this game right now either, so let's just start killing things. Your mother was a lawnmower. Come here. Yeah. The other thing you want to do, see when they start bunching up along the door like this, it's hard to keep track of which one you hit before, and you really want to hit the ones you've damaged already. Okay, so now this Gorgol guy is probably going to chase me in. What I'm going to try and do with him is if I run a few steps, I'll start sprinting, which will give me a speed boost. That'll give me some room to move, and then I can charge him. I don't want to go head-to-head with him because he hits really hard. And he's got reasonable protection. 3d4 is enough to block a fair amount of damage, but if I get one good charge on him, I might be able to kill him in one shot, so let's see. Yeah. And he's too stupid to run quickly, so I'll probably get another charge on him. Okay, and at this stage, it's entirely possible that I'll die right now if both of these guys get a swing at me, but I'm going to take one more swing at Gorgol, because I don't want him to run. Okay, so he's dead. When you kill like a daddy version of a monster, usually the kids will run. So if you kill like an orc captain and it's surrounded by orcs, they'll run like hell, just for a few minutes. Which can be deceiving because they'll run and you'll be like, haha, you guys are idiots, and then they'll surround you and kill you. So this is not an easy way out necessarily. This spear is Boldog spear. He drops it with some probability. I think if I wield it, I'll just know what it is. That's kind of lame. The great, I don't know, maybe people who are actually good at Sil can tell me more about great spears, but they tend to be really bad weapons in my opinion, because they're heavy, but they have really like no damage dice at all. So like charging does very little with them. And I'm about to get surrounded because I got cocky, so... How much power does this guy have? See, you'll see here, I hurt this orc real bad, and then his buddy came in to set the pick here, like a basketball game. What I'm going to do is charge out to the left, and just run. They're going to score some hits on me, but... This is like the Brady bunch of orcs. I think there were 5 Brady bunches, right? Let's switch back to my axe. And I'm just going to start pounding on these guys. Good, I'll get a charge here, but I missed. See, this is not a good situation to be in. Luckily, I'm scoring some really hard hits on these guys. When they go down to low HP, they switch places with their buddies, and you can just, like, fight forever. Look at the herb. Forget the gauntlet. So I figured out how to bow. Could have shot at them. Okay, so that went pretty well. Let's add some more melee. And I want to show you something. Let's see if we can find some wolves. No. Okay, I'm going to go splatter this bat. Oh my god, yeah. And this is one of those things. If you're walking around like this floor with a battle axe in both hands, you'll just kill everything. And so you'll get cocky and you'll start spamming keystrokes like down, 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 trying to fight things. And you'll just die on the next floor because you'll fight a monster that's actually hard and you die. So... The general rule with this game is there aren't any fodder monsters really at all. In certain roguelikes, like if you're on the first few floors, you know, like there might be like a tourist kind of monster, like a goblin that you're just like never gonna die to, and so you get used to spamming on the left key or something. But that doesn't exist in this game. Everything can kill you. More special spears. Let's grab these. So I like these kinds of rooms for fighting archers because they can't really get a good line of sight on you. But, like, at this point, fighting these things is really useless because I get not much experience from them, and there's a high chance that they can kill me. Some arrows. I'm just going to shoot you because you made me mad. You'll see criticals are a bit more common with... What's he doing? Why is he just standing there? Okay. And this one I'll charge and kill. There we go. Okay. More orc soldiers. Yeah, you'll see like killing one of those things is worth 1 experience now, and I'll burn like 20 turns. That's totally not worth it. So, again, I said this before, but I think with this current... What did I just kill? With this character, I think if I go down to the next step, unless I find some good armor or something, I'm gonna die. So, bastard sword. Oh, that's really good. Throwing axes. Throwing weapons in this game are essentially useless unless you don't have a bow. Throwing axes are the best of them because they do really high damage. But unless you have high strength, you can only throw like 4 squares away or something. So, really, the bow is what you want. So a bastard sword is kind of the same as a battle axe, in that if I wield it with both hands, I get a damage bonus. So this isn't as good as a battle axe in terms of raw damage, but I get way better melee because it's a sword, and it has less of a penalty. So I'm going to use this for a while because I just like it better. Oh, it's really light though. That's why I don't get the full damage bonus. If this was 3 pounds, I'd get 3d7. Well, whatever. Let's keep going. Let's go left. Okay, those blue molds are like a nightmare. Right now, if you look at my dude, his light radius is 1, which means I can see 1 square around me in the dark. When you meet one of these guys in a corridor, these purple molds, they have a chance to drain your constitution. And at this stage in the game, I have no will. You get a will save, like if you roll well on your will roll. But I don't have any, so realistically, if he hits me, he's going to drain my constitution. So you don't want those around the corner. I just killed a clear worm mass. They're like the old worms, except they're invisible. And that H guy is called a Mulip. He's from like one of the dumb stories, and I think what's that? The Lost Tales or something. One of the really funny ones. And it's just a weird creature that has all kinds of weird abilities. They can scare you. They can erase the map, which right now I have hardly any map revealed, so I don't care. But the scaring is bad. See, when you're afraid, you can't fight. And now I'm going to keep getting stabbed by these wolves. Okay, good. So let's try and kill these fast. And now I'm scared again. So the good thing is this is happening near the stairs. And as a... See, the Mulip just rang his bell, whatever that means, and he erased my map, which is, again, at this stage, not a big deal, but super annoying otherwise. And they hit even pretty hard, so these guys are tough at this stage. And now I've got Orc Warriors behind me. So this sight is very common in Sil. Bad guys to the left of you, bad guys to the right, you know, stuck in the middle with you, you just die. This I'll probably survive. These things are really strong, but this wolf is terrible, so let's see if I can convince him to get out of the way. Good, okay. So now the question is, do I want to fight these things, or do I want to run? I'm going to fight them, because, again, if I die at this stage, I won't be that sad. So let's get a charge in here. And like I said, Orc Warriors right now, they'll hit hard, and they have decent protection, but with a two-handed weapon and charge, you can still hit them really hard. I'm going to have to change torches if I ever get a chance to breathe. There. Running out of light in a dark corridor is not what you want, because you get a penalty to hitting. Okay, so I crushed that guy too. Alright, we're in a good place now. So I'm going to merge some torches here. Now, I was hoping to pay better attention when I saw a wolf, because I think Boldog Spear slays wolves, but this is useless. That's another one of those spiders that I saw a while ago. And when they run away, they run real fast, so it's better just to kill them when you get the chance. That's a really heavy helmet. What's my weight? Yeah, okay. Forget you. Ooh, greatsword. Okay, this is a great find at this stage. So now, because this one's a lot heavier, I get my full strength bonus to the 3d5. You see they have, like... a greatsword wielded with two hands has 3d5 base, and a bastard sword wielded with two hands has base 3d5. A greatsword always has 3d5 because you can't wield it in one hand. It always is a two-handed weapon, so you have to take off your shield to use it. But I get an extra strength bonus because the weapon's heavy enough. Oh, okay. See, now we're starting to meet some interesting monsters. This little guy here that you can't see is a shadow mole, so he casts the darkness around him, and unless your light radius plus the light of the room outweighs the darkness that he's creating, you can't see him, and he just kicks your ass. And they hit really hard. And I don't even know where he is. See, yeah, I should know where he is. This is why I die at this game. I'm just gonna shoot arrows until... There he is, okay. So I'm gonna rest up and just try and charge him. There we go. That monster without charge is not fun, unless you have the light to see him. Your other option is just to stand there and like pump him full of arrows, but that's not exciting to watch. Okay, I have some experience pooled, so let's figure out what we're going to do here. I could just... There are certain build types that just rely on buffing melee and evasion, but that gets boring fast. Let's say we'll get melee and evasion to, I don't know, 10, and then we'll figure out what to do from there. Because I don't even know what next skill I would want. Alright, off we go. Another spider. Oh, that's the one I hit before he ran. Ooh, a shield, finally. Okay, so let's get that. Now, I don't have any really good one-handed weapons. Oh, the bastard sword. Okay, let's use that. That's a light bastard sword. This is as good as a... Actually, that's a really good sword for one-handed fighting. Where's my shield? Awesome, this is great. Okay, let's kill stuff. The reason why I'm saying that is because usually Bastard Swords are fairly heavy, and so using them one hand isn't great because you get terrible criticals. These are stupid. Okay, so I'm poisoned right now, so I'm going to try and drink a potion. Never mind. Okay, good. I'm going to try and drink a potion that I think might be anti-venom, so I think it's D. There we go. And now I know that it's anti-venom because I was poisoned when I drank it. And I get 100 experience. So the reason why I knew that is because they tend to show up on the first couple of floors. The dark green potion and the violet potion are probably bad. So I'll just drink those next, because I have no shame. Okay, you guys are all dead. You know what, I'm going to wait till I'm hurt in case it's healing or something. Which I'll probably be hurt in a few minutes, because these guys are going to hurt me. I think these are, yeah, these are Kerbane. These are the crows from the Lord of the Rings. If you're not wearing much armor, they will surround you and kill you because they hit really fast. If you're not, they'll just keep making noise and wake up everything on the level. So those are also things you want to kill fast. And there are a lot of them usually in a group. And you can see they're pretty hard to hit. I should just wield my short sword, but I want to have a... There we go. I want to have a reasonable weapon out for when I fight the orcs. Alright, good stuff. Another battle axe. How light is it? 5 pounds. That's actually better than the one I have. Let's drop the one I have. Actually, I'll never use that again because I have a great sword. Okay, cool. So let's just keep going. These green masses are the same as the old ones, except they spit acid, which can damage your armor. They might do something else, but I don't remember. I'm getting all kinds of experience here. Okay. So this is one of those situations where there's worms in the room and there's dangerous monsters behind them. This time I'm going to try and kill the worms first because these are bad if they surround you. And the archers are kind of dumb. Like they're so scared. Which I would be too if I was on their side of things. But I have a bit more protection now, so this isn't so bad. With the shield, they can't really hurt me that badly. Their arrows are pretty crappy. And I run fast now, so I can pin them. So longswords are really good weapons early in the game because they have 0 melee penalty, but they have pretty high damage dice. I'm going to keep swinging with my bastard sword because it gives me a good number of damage dice with charge. But I'm going to keep the longsword for later. Ideally at this stage I want a 2-pound longsword because that'll match my 2 strength and give me the damage bonus I want. But it'll also get a lot of criticals. This one is a really heavy longsword. It's 4 pounds, so it's not a great find. I'm just going to hang on to it in case I need it later. Which also means I can get rid of the short sword because it hits just as well as the longsword. And I was only hanging on to that to hit hard-to-hit enemies. Got all these herbs now too. In the early game it can be worth it to try to identify things just by using them. But there are stat drain potions and such, and with no will, it's almost certainly going to have the effect that it exerts. So if I drink like a constitution draining thing, it's going to take away my constitution. I have no chance to save. Or minimal. A round shield, 3 pounds. Mine is 5 pounds. I haven't decided what kind of build I'm going to do, so I'm just going to hang on to the heavy shield. Why did you come before? Okay. Open. This is a serious door. Typically with every couple of floors in Sil, this is probably a forge again. Nope, just a dark room. Typically with every couple of floors in Sil, you get introduced to a couple of challenges that you haven't had to handle yet. So you might fight an invisible enemy, or you might fight one that just drains your stats, or something like that. And then as you get to the deeper floors, they start combining them. And so certain things that just happen by themselves you can deal with. So like one stat draining monster isn't a big deal. One dark monster isn't a big deal. But if you're fighting like dark monsters, invisible monsters, stat draining monsters, and shooting monsters at the same time, you need to have taken some precautions. And if you haven't taken them, you die. So at this stage in the game, there are certain things that are kind of tough, but you can dodge them if you're fighting them on their own. As was the case with that shadow mold. Like a shadow mold by itself that's sitting in the dark isn't that scary, but if you're surrounded by orcs and it's blocking the entrance, then it's really scary. Sweet. And again, like poison so far hasn't been a big deal. Really the only thing the poison did was let me get some experience by identifying the slow poison potion, but if you're fighting a bunch of monsters and you keep getting poisoned and it gets worse and worse, poison just keeps draining your HP until you die, or until it wears off. And that's really bad when you have such a small amount of HP for the whole game. Is this a lamp or a torch? Well, it's better than nothing. At this stage in the game, it's a great find to find like a lamp because it gives you a bigger light radius. Gorgol that I just killed, I was lucky. There's another one here. If they hit you, there's a chance that they'll blind you. And being blind, I shouldn't have to tell you, is not great. And you see, this thing's kicking my ass. It hit me twice with some pretty hard hits. And I could just die if it hits me really hard right now. But I can't run from it, really. So now it ran away and it can't see me. So I could just run. And it wouldn't even know I was here, but I'm stupid, so I'm going to chase it. Ooh, I got a perception ring. That's nice. Rings that boost your stats, you identify them right away. Alright, it's dead. Good stuff. Pounding through these things. Hummer horns, I don't think I explained before, but if they hit you, they make you hallucinate. Which I'll show you, it's going to happen to me eventually, because I have no will. But it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's really hard to tell. It scrambles all the monster symbols, so you don't actually know what you're fighting. And it adds more symbols to the screen that you don't know are real or not. Where did that Gorgol go? There he is. And you can see here, even just like watching me play, having a light radius of 1 in a really dark hall is just hard. You don't know what's coming. There's a skill you can take on the perception side of things called Keen Senses that won't increase your light radius, but it'll let you see things that are standing in this first level of darkness. So right now, if there's an orc archer here, which I suspect there is, I'd be able to see it. And that means you won't walk into it, which is great for violet molds that reduce your constitution. If there's like a violet mold sitting here, I'd see it instead of walking in front of it and giving it a chance to hit me. Right now, these things are going to pump me full of arrows unless I run, so I'm just going to run for the downstairs. Alright, well... Yeah, they're going to give me 3 experience. You're damn right, I'm not going to fight them. Bye. Okay. So, if you have like a pretty well planned out build or you're finding good equipment, you can just keep diving like this, and right now, I'm at a depth of 300 and my minimum depth is 150. This is really nearing the discomfort point. Unless you have something about your build that's giving you a strong advantage, which I don't, other than my high melee score for this stage in the game, things are going to start getting tough, like, pretty quickly. I know I keep saying that, but, like, see, it's happening now. The reason why things get harder is that in the early stages of the game, there aren't many monsters per floor, but as you go farther, they're, like, all over the place. As you can see, I've got, like, a shitload of things chasing me now. And now they're going to keep waking up everything around them. So, for example, if there are, like, 20 monsters in the halls around here, I'm going to have them breathing down my throat, like, in about 2 minutes. So, now I have to stand and fight. This spy is like a human version of the orc scouts we fought before. He's basically an orc scout. I don't think he does anything different except shoot. Oh, and I have a bunch of experience, so I should spend it, because it's not doing any good in my pool. Yeah. Alright, so now I'm dying. This is a situation you'll commonly find yourself in, Sil. So now I have options, but not many. I have two, really. I could run here, but I don't know what's ahead of me, and it's extremely likely that there's a monster here that's going to sandwich me. I could drink one of these murky brown potions, which is going to give me some health back, but I'll be stunned, because I have no will, so it's going to stun me. And it's entirely possible that one of these herbs or one of these potions will do something good, but I don't know what they are, so I can just like randomly start chugging stuff. I don't think I can go to hand-to-hand with these warriors without dying, because they can keep switching, and it's going to take one hit to kill me, so I'm just going to run. And if I meet something in front of me, then I'll quaff, or drink. I hate that word, quaff. Sounds like I'm brushing my hair. Yeah, see, he got a pot shot at me because I opened the door, and now I have 1 HP, so we are quickly nearing the end of this game, and I'm not really feeling it, so I'm not too sad to die here, but I'm sure my little guy here that I'm controlling feels differently, so let's give him a fighting chance. I shut the door behind me just because sometimes they take a while to regroup. The doors seem to be like a really bewildering thing to orcs in this game. So if one arrow hits me in the face badly here, I'm going to die too, so let's kill this thing quick and get out of the line of sight. Close this door behind me, close that door behind me. The thing I find frustrating about this game a little bit is that they'll never stop chasing you. Like, as far as I can tell, even if you take like a smart route and they haven't seen you in a while, they'll just somehow know where you are. You'll make enough noise. There's a certain skill called Vanish that... I'm going to dodge out of sight here. See, that spider was chasing me, but because I ducked out of his line of sight, he doesn't know where I am anymore. And he's not something I want to fight right now. And I think if I go down and to the right one step, he's going to see me again. Let's try it. Nope, he walked backwards. Cool, I killed that guy. We might get out of this after all. See, in an ideal situation, I'd be able to run back into that hall and get some more room to charge, but that friggin' spider is there. Okay, I'm gonna run for the door on the left. If he gets a really good hit off, I'll die. It's getting intense. So I wasn't paying attention there. I should have seen. I think an archer was in front of me, and he ducked into a dark shadow and shot me in the face. And when they're in the dark like that, they get a big bonus to hit, or I get a penalty to evasion. So he just got a good critical. And that's it. That's a game of Sil in a nutshell. So I didn't really do anything fancy with skills or abilities or any of that. If I'd used a more standard build, I would have survived a lot easier here. It still gets harder in the end game, but it gives you a taste of what there is to come. The other thing I could have done, which wouldn't help me too much here, but we'll see this in a later game as well. When you're fighting a certain type of monster, if you have a weapon that's like strong against that monster, if it's like so in this case we have these spears that are, I'm guessing, spears of spider slaying. They kill spiders really well. They'll start to glow, so they have this blue icon, and if you wield them, they'll actually give you an extra radius of light, and they give you an extra damage die against the monsters you're fighting, but they also make them flee. So in the event that this spear was a spear of orc slaying, which I think I would have seen by now, it would have been a really good idea to equip that right now, because if you hit an orc a couple of times with it, he might just run, because he doesn't like being hit with his stabby orc stick. And this Spear of Boldog, which I know is the Spear of Boldog, we'll see it when I identify it after I die. If I'd fought spiders or wolves or something, I can't remember what it kills, but it would have glowed too. Well, it can't be spiders because it'd be glowing now, so it must be wolves. Anyhow, after you die, you get this cute little menu where you can see the site of your ignominious death. There's a word I've never said out loud. You can take a look at the dungeon to see all the good stuff that you could have gotten, or how hopeless your situation was. Is that a distended spider? What? Okay. Maybe that's normal at this depth, but I feel like that's out of depth. Yeah, see, it's normally found at 450. That's kind of crazy. Oops. Those are really bad for poison. I think this red centipede is supposed to be here. That's pretty normal. 350, yeah, that's not crazy. Anyhow, you can look around. It identifies all the items on the floor, so there's a kite shield there, some gauntlets. I like to look around so that when I see a really good item I could have gotten, it just like kind of makes me feel bad about myself. Potion of Strength. Herb of Terror. Shadow Molds, we love those. Those how do you say that? Wicked. They're pretty easy to kill, but they're fun to fight. Yeah, so this, all in all, wasn't a great floor. This is a kind of floor where you don't feel bad dying, because, you know, you may have died from boredom anyways. But if I'd played a bit better, this is a situation where I certainly could have gotten out of it. I probably should have chugged that Orcish Liqueur potion early. I had a bit of experience, so I'm not sure, but I might have been able to put some points into... you'll recall that I spent some money on evasion before. I probably could have put that into a skill called Song, which we talked about before. And there's a really cheap song called Elbereth, which if you play NetHack, you've seen that before. And it just scares away monsters after a while. And that can get you out of some binds too. But I find that at this stage of the game, if you're forced to use Elbereth a lot to get out of situations, you're probably going to die anyways, because something's missing in your build that is keeping you from surviving on your own. And let's look at the items that I had but didn't know I had. So, oh, Boldog didn't drop his normal spear. He just dropped a Spear of Wolfslaying. What a lamer. And like I said, I guessed those spears were Spider Slaying, and they were. And then the rest of it, yeah, blindness. I told you, most of those potions were probably going to be bad, so blindness, poison, those wouldn't help me. Terror, makes you fast, but also makes you not able to fight. Rage may have helped me there, but it just lets you hit everything around you, but you also can't see very far ahead of you. It gives you more constitution for a little bit too. But anyway, these are all items we'll see in later games when I don't die so quick. But hopefully this little run gave you a taste of what a typical Sil run is like. Probably your first few times playing, unless you played a roguelike, you're going to die quicker than that due to a misclick or something. But you can go pretty far in this game to learn by only adding points to melee and evasion, and like taking some basic skills like sprinting and charge, and just seeing how far you can get. Next, we'll probably try like a protection-based smithing build where we build some like really tough armor, because that's been popular in like the Sil community. Not that there's a really big one yet. Recently, with a couple of guys doing some cool builds there. And then after that, we'll use one of my more favorite builds, which is a stealth build, which involves less fighting until the very end when you're crazy strong. But something to look forward to later. So for now, I will say goodbye, and next time we'll have a more interesting smithing build.